Hi, friends. Oh, I'm so glad you came today. Our learning goal for today says I can use the read, draw, and write strategy to find how many more. Just as a reminder, strategy is one of those very fancy words we've been learning. Can you go ahead and say the word strategy in a fancy way? Oh, you sound so fancy. Yeah. And a strategy is a plan or a smart way to solve a problem. Oftentimes, as soon as someone says strategy, you think, ooh, a plan. But it's a plan, but also a smart way to solve a problem. And the smart part about a strategy is that strategies help to keep us organized. It helps us to make sure we don't forget any good information. And so when we're using our plan to solve it, we're also keeping track of everything we need to know and remembering what we're supposed to be doing with it. So strategies can be really helpful when you're solving a math problem. Today, we're going to practice using the read, draw, write strategy, which we've used before, but it's going to get a little bit trickier now that we're comparing. Just as a reminder, read in this part of the read, draw, write strategy is where we're going to read the problem. I recommend reading it a couple times so you know what you're doing and what information you're looking for. When we draw, not only are we drawing information that we've learned from the story, but we're also going to make sure that we add in any changes to our drawing as well, so that other people can see our process and we can stay organized. And finally, when we write, we're going to share what we did, what we were looking for, and then finally, the answer we found. So those are the different parts to the read, draw, write strategy. And we're going to use that today as we're comparing to find how many more. So here we go. So if I am going to have this word problem, I'm going to start by reading. So good listening ears as I read the problem. Destiny has 12 fish. Bianca has 10 fish. How many more fish does Destiny have? Now, as you read in the read, draw, write strategy, you're not just listening to the words like, you actually have to be thinking about what's happening. I like to start thinking and kind of building pictures in my mind of what information I'm gathering from the word story, and then also what kind of changes probably need to be made to find the answer. Okay, let me read it again, and I want your brains to turn on and start visualizing or thinking about what you should be doing, okay? Here we go. Destiny has 12 fish. Bianca has 10 fish. How many more fish does Destiny have? Okay, I want you to go ahead and pause for a second. Can you tell, buddy, what were you picturing in your mind when I was reading that story? Press play when you're ready. Okay, for me, I was picturing Destiny having a fish tank filled with fish, and then Bianca having a fish tank also filled with fish, and they're super colorful. So now I'm processing and thinking about what I'm reading, and now I'm ready to do the problem. Okay, so when we're doing the read, draw, and write strategy, we're going to do all those parts. So we read the word story, and now we're going to draw what we know. All right, so let's see. Well, the first line says Destiny has 12 fish. So I definitely want to draw a picture of that. But then it also says Bianca has 10 fish. And I don't want to get our fish confused. So I think what I'm going to do before I start drawing Destiny's 12 fish is I'm going to write the letter D because I know the letter D is at the beginning of destiny. Destiny. Yep, the letter D. So I know all the circles that I'm going to draw with my quick math picture right after D are all the fish that Destiny has. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and draw 12 fish. Can you count with me as I draw them? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. All right, now I got to stop because that's how many she had. All right, then it says Bianca has 10 fish. All right, I definitely want to draw Bianca's 10 fish. What do you think I could do to make sure that I'm stay organized in my drawings and let everybody know that the rest of the fish I'm about to draw belong to Bianca? Yes, I could put a B there because Bianca begins with a B sound, right? So I can do a B and then draw her 10 fish after the B. Oh, that's going to keep us so organized. All right, here we go. Can you count with me as I draw 10 fish? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my goodness. So organized. Do you see how, because I labeled it with the letter D and the letter B, it's very neat and tidy and very organized and definitely matches what I read about in the story. Oh my gosh, I love being organized with math. Okay, this strategy, so helpful. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're not done yet because now it says, how many more fish does Destiny have? So this is where I am in charge of the math numbers and I get to decide how I want to solve this problem. Do I want to add or do I want to subtract? Can you go ahead and press pause to talk with a buddy? What would you choose to do? Tell them why you'd pick that and then press play and we'll talk about what I did. Okay, what did you choose? Oh, interesting choice. Yeah. Now remember, there's different ways to solve a problem, but I'm going to go with adding. So I'm going to add on from what Bianca has until we get to Destiny's. So I'm going to say, how many fish did Bianca have? Do you remember, friends? Yes, I can see my picture very clearly. She had 10. So Bianca had 10 fish. And I'm going to add or count on from 10 until I equal the amount that Destiny had, which is 12. And that is how I built my number sentence. So let's see, if I'm going to count on, I can just say 10, because that's what Bianca has. And then I'll draw circles until I get to 12. And then I'll say stop. Okay, here we go. So 10, 11, 12. Stop. Okay, friends, why did I color in those circles? Yes, I colored in those circles so it's very clear what the change is, right? And it really helped me to keep track of how many more fish I'll need so that we match Destiny's. Okay, so how many circles did I have to color in there? Yes, I had to draw and color in 2. So that means my other part to Destiny's 12 would be 2 if I have 10 already. And then that must mean, how many more fish does Destiny have than Bianca? Yeah, Destiny has 2 more fish than Bianca. I know that because it matches the drawing. And you can even see in my drawing that now look at my long line for Destiny matches with my long line for Bianca. Wow, that was a really good idea to use this strategy to help keep us organized and help keep it very clear what was happening in the story and the work that I was doing. And ultimately, that helped us to find our answer. Okay, we're going to do another one, of course, but for this one, I want you to go get a dry erase board and a marker or a piece of paper and a pencil, and then go ahead and put it down, but press play when you're ready. We're going to go through another problem together. Okay, friends, do you have your materials? Oh, incredible. All right, so here we go. The first step in the read, draw, write strategy is to do what? Excellent job. We're going to go ahead and read. So here we go. Camille has 5 carrots. Liam has 9 carrots. How many more carrots does Liam have? Liam has lots of carrots. All right, so Camille has 5 carrots and Liam has 9 carrots. How many more carrots does Liam have? Okay, before we even begin, can you press pause? I want you to talk with a buddy. What are you picturing in your mind as I'm reading that? And how do you think you're going to start your drawing part? Go ahead, press pause, talk with a buddy, and then press play. Okay, did you talk through your plan? Okay, did your plan look something like this? Oh, did I surprise you, friends? Yeah. What do you think about my read, draw, write strategy that I was doing right there? Did it match the picture in your head? Oh, I hope it did not. This one's a little bit of a disaster. Are you being very confused right now? Like, what was I thinking? Yeah, that's a good question to ask because I know that I use the read, draw, write strategy so I have a plan, but also a smart way to solve the problem. And it does not look like I used the plan and did it in a smart way, right? Because look it says Camille has 5 carrots and Liam has 9, but look at all the circles I drew. I can't even tell which ones are Camille's and which ones are Liam's. Oh boy, that's kind of a disaster, right? And look, I have a number sentence and it says 9 minus something equals 5. But when I'm looking at, I don't know what I did. I crossed out some things, I colored in some other circles. Man, oh man, I probably could have done the read, draw, write strategy a little bit better, right? Can you press pause? Can you tell a friend at least 2 things I could have done better when I did this strategy to upgrade my work? Like, what could I have done to make it more organized and tidy and more clear of what I was trying to do? Press pause while you do that and then press play when you're ready. Yeah, okay. That was a little bit of a disaster on my end. We need to redo it. Can you help me out, friend? Oh, thank you so much. All right, so here we go. Let's try to do this a little bit better. So it says Camille has 5 carrots. Liam has 9 carrots. And how many more carrots does Liam have? So we know that when we draw what we've read and what we know, right? So let's start with that first line. Camille has 5 carrots. Can you press pause? Can you do a better job than I did the first time and draw a quick picture and label Camille's 5 carrots? Press pause while you do that. Press play to check yourself. Okay, friends, what did you do to show Camille's 5 carrots? Did you do a C for Camille and then draw 5 quick circles for carrots? You little rock stars. Yes, good job. Okay, much better than me. All right. And then it says Liam has 9 carrots. Can you press pause and show me what you did for Liam to be very organized and to show clearly that those belong to Liam and not Camille? Press play when you're ready. Okay, did you draw a picture of Liam's carrots? He has 9 of them. All right, let me guess. Did you do an L for Liam? Yeah, oh, nice. And then did you draw 9 quick circles so organized and tidy? You are amazing, friends. Okay, well, thank you so much. So far, so good. This has been very helpful compared to what I did on the last try. All right, you know what? I bet I'm going to have more success. Okay, let's still go with what I had originally thought, though. Let's go ahead and say we're going to subtract 9 minus, I don't know, we're going to subtract something so that when we end up with our equals, that's going to equal the 5 carrots that Camille has. So we're going to subtract some from Liam's so that after we subtracted, the other part that we have left is 5, so it matches Camille's. And then whatever we subtract, we'll know that's how many more he has. Okay, so I know that I was all over the place and even messed up because I ended up crossing out and coloring in too many things. So can you press pause? How would you solve this problem? How would you show a change in your picture to show 9 minus something equals 5? Can you press pause and figure that out and show the change in your picture? And then press play when you're ready to see what I did? Okay, friends, look at what I did. I ended up, because you helped me out to realize what I did last time was a disaster. So I wanted the amount that Camille and Liam had to match. So I subtracted by counting back from 9. I said 9 and then crossed out until I got to 5. So this is what I did. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Stop. And then I counted the ones that I crossed out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that, friends, equals 4. So I know that Liam has 4 more carrots than Camille. Friends, how did you do? What did you end up getting? Oh, nice job. You know what? Can you press pause? Can you talk with the buddy? Can you show them like you did? Can you show how your picture matches the change, matches what we're trying to figure out, and how you use the number sentence to help you solve that? And even if you solved it a little bit differently than I did, can you explain how that was different? All right, then press play when you're done. All right, you know, friends, I don't know what I would have done without you today because our learning goal said I can use the read, draw, and write strategy to find how many more. And you certainly helped me do a better job using that strategy by helping me to upgrade myself by keeping organized and making sure that not only did I have a plan, but that I was doing it in a smart way and being very careful and thoughtful about what I was doing as I was working through the problems. Oh, so thank you. You know, when you're doing your good work with the read, draw, and write strategy, I want you to make sure you go slow and you do a nice, tidy job too. Keep yourself organized, friends. All right, see you next time. Bye.